just really to unpack the objectives again of the presentation is to go into Namibia's health service delivery structure, as well as the essential health services package in Namibia. Now, I hope you can see the slide. Yeah. So I hope you can see the slide. So really just to expand a little bit more on universal health coverage, just to complement what was already said. The World Health Organization defines universal health coverage as a means for all individuals and communities to receive the health services they need without suffering financial hardship. So this includes a full spectrum of essential quality health services, from the promotion of health to the prevention, treatment, rehabilitation, and palliative care across an individual's life. And so really the objectives and the universal health coverage are threefold: to expand access to all populations, to expand the services that all people can receive in terms of health services, and also, and probably more importantly, to reduce the costs that users have to pay directly from their pockets, and it speaks to financial protection. Now, just to give a snapshot of the health system in Namibia, including actors, providers, and the population at large. Although it is really to provide health services to individuals across their lifespan, it's also important to take note that these individuals belong to a community, so there should also be a community-based approach. Now, we have the private health care system, we have the public health care system, we have the missions, we have informal entities, and we have NGOs or donors, sorry. All of these entities, all of these actors are responsible for providing healthcare services in Namibia. Now, if we hone into the private healthcare system, they account really, or they cater really to only 20% of the Namibian population. And so this is accessed by middle and high income earners of the population. It's driven by participation in medical aid schemes, and that we'll also touch during the then we have the public health care system. This caters to the majority of the Namibian population. That's 80% roughly of the Namibian population. It's accessed primarily by lower income earners in the population. It's driven by primary healthcare strategy participation in medical aid schemes, and it provides care through services of outreach points, health centers, clinics, and hospitals. Then we have the missions, which are primarily Catholic, Anglican, and Lutheran based. I would like to highlight here that although the services provided by these mission-based health facilities complement the services provided in the healthcare sector, 100% of the operational budget for these mission facilities comes from government, comes from the Ministry of Health. These mission facilities also provide outpatient and inpatient care, and they are perceived sort of as a step up from the services provided in the public health care system. Informal entities, for example, traditional healers, are also seen by some as providing healthcare services, and they're also actually considered as an alternative source of healthcare. It's been said that the segment of the population that access health services from traditional leaders are primarily men. I don't know whether the men in this room will agree with me. Yes, and invariably, it's an entity or a section of healthcare that is accessed by a small segment of our society. And then with regards to NGOs, NGOs that are really at the helm of healthcare delivery in Namibia are NGOs primarily focused on HIV and AIDS services. They're relatively small in presence, and some of these big ones that I can mention are PEPFAR, Global Fund, and others. So this is really just a snapshot of the health system that we have in Namibia. This slide really is just to illuminate a little bit more on the referral pathway in the public sector. So access to all essential services in the public health facilities are guaranteed for free. So I say this again, access to essential health services for public facilities is guaranteed for free. Now there may be a nominal fee, as some of you may have, who have accessed healthcare in the public sector would attest to. Every single patient needs to have a health card. This health card is really the point of departure for healthcare providers when they attend to you. Now, for us, for government to sort of continue to provide the services, the health services that we do, there's a great cost attached to that. And so a way of sort of cost recovery is by charging really a nominal fee when a patient goes to seek health care at a health facility. And we call this really a sort of a registration fee that is payable when the patient enters the health facility. Now, there are also exceptions. So not all people will be subjected to pay this fee. Exceptions include sustainable hemodialysis program. We make use of the services provided in the private sector. And so this is an example of sort of also good partnership between private and state. But again, for those patients who are referred to the private sector to access this service, it's at the cost of government. Just quickly to highlight that under primary health care, so this is really now the sort of elementary stage in terms of the health infrastructure. We have 279 clinics in Namibia. We have outreach points, 1,150. Now, when the cases that are seen at these primary health facilities go beyond the scope of the healthcare providers there, if they need to be referred to the next level for further management, they will then refer to a health center. So we have about 44 health centers in Namibia, in all regions. Just also to note that the type of human resource or healthcare worker complement or cadre that you see in the primary level is more nurses or community health workers. At a health center, there may be a medical officer, a medical doctor, or more sort of specialized nurses. But seldom will you find medical doctors. Again, when there's a need to refer to the next level, they will refer to a district hospital. And Namibia has roughly 50 district hospitals. Now, at the district hospital, that's where you will find now more specialized services, and not just essential health services. You will also find a more robust complement of specialized healthcare workers there. And again, if there's a need to refer to the next level, we then refer to referral hospitals or intermediate hospitals, and we have roughly 4 intermediate hospitals, and we have 1 central hospital in Namibia, and these provide very, very specialized healthcare services. Now we come to the elephant in the room: financing for health services in Namibia. So government is the largest source of funding for health, and as I mentioned, we provide services to over 80% of the population. The finances that are derived from government to cater for all healthcare services, 60% or 62% comes from the government. Financial protection for most healthcare users, and that's out of pocket, is roughly 8%, which we feel is quite reasonable, given that the threshold in terms of red flag, according to the World Health Organization, is 20%. Now, of course, this can be improved, and we certainly hope to engage in fruitful discussions with all of you on how we can do this. From 2020, the share of government spending will have significantly increased as government expanded the funding to address the impact of COVID-19. And then over 66% of the total spending goes to hospital care, while 11% goes to health centers in the public sector. Now, moving on to essential health services package in Namibia. This was developed in 2014. The package hones in on the same time on the various referral levels. So this essential health services package, it focuses on providing health services at the district level or lower. All services covered in the package are provided again for free in public health facilities. Outlines the package outlines interventions for priority areas across all diseases, including HIV, NCDs, and so forth. Unfortunately, you can't really see the summary list, but I will make sure to avail the presentation to the moderator so that it can be shared with all of you. But the list that we've detailed here comes from the existing package of 2014. So the ministry is currently redefining the EHSP as part of the universal health coverage process to better align to changing disease burden, to better align to the funding needs, and to better align with the priority needs of the population. The revised EHSP will guide resource mobilization, allocation, and alignment of health system components required to provide this package. Maybe if I can just highlight a few of the services, right? So we have, for example, family planning. We have adolescent health services, men's involvement in sexual and reproductive health, also sexual and reproductive health services on its own. We have expanded program of immunization, under which right now the COVID-19 vaccination program is being rolled out. Of course, as well as other immunizations, including childhood immunizations. We have primary health care, mental health care, oral health care, and the list goes on. Now, just to end off, just some key messages. The government is committed to providing essential health services, ensuring equitable and affordable access to health for all. We also remain the largest funder and provider of health services, especially those targeting vulnerable populations or marginalized groups. Namibia has a minimum list of services to be provided at each level of care. And so this is now speaking again to the essential health services package. Again, although it was developed in 2014, I did indicate that it is currently under review, and this is something that we also hope to engage with all of you on. Now, I also wanted to add that although the package is aimed primarily at the district level, we do have a whole host and whole range of healthcare services that we provide at the intermediate hospital level, at the central hospital level. It encompasses all the essential health services that I've detailed. It also encompasses trauma and surgical services. It encompasses healthcare services for communicable diseases, more specialized services. I touched on the dialysis program earlier on. This is also a part of the services. And then just to end off, the country remains committed to universal health coverage as an essential agenda under Vision 2030 and the Harambee Prosperity Plan. Thank you very much for your attention.